Good morning, students. This is your first online class of the session 2021-22. I know all of you want to come to school, you want to study as usual, but during this COVID time, we have to start with this online class again. Like last time we started, and I hope this will not last long. Like last time we had almost till January we had online classes. So anyways, we are going to start with lesson number 2, that is formulas and functions. These formulas and functions, I think all of you have seen earlier that it's about Microsoft Excel, and it was explained in previous classes also. So just I want to remind you that Microsoft Excel, it is used for doing calculations. So in Microsoft Excel we have workbook and we have worksheet. So by default we have 3 worksheets: sheet 1, sheet 2 and sheet 3, and each worksheet consists of rows and columns, and intersection of rows and columns are known as cells. Rows are denoted with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that, and columns are denoted with A, B, C, D. So it will go on like this. So intersection of rows and columns are known as cells. Cells are like A1, B1, C1, D1, A2, B2, C2, D2. All these are cells. So here in this chapter, because as I have already told you that Excel is used to, you can say, to perform calculations. So it is used to perform simple and complex calculations. So to perform those calculations in a easier manner, we can create those formulas. So it is given here in your book that formulas are the user-defined instructions to perform calculations, whereas functions are predefined or inbuilt formulas that come with Excel. So formulas we create, like suppose we want to add some numbers, so we can create that formula, and we are having certain rules also for this. I think if you remember, all the functions or formulas, those formulas functions will start with an equal sign. Then we'll write the cell number, then the operator, then again the cell number. Whatever cell number we want to write, we can write, and like this you can create the formula. Here first we'll discuss about this formula in today's class, some basic things about the formula. If you go to your page number 16 of your book, you'll see there is a box given where one formula is shown with a cell addresses, and that formula you can say it is there are certain parts of the formula. So the formula is given, it's equal A2 plus B2 into 5 minus sum E3 then E5 bracket closed. So that function we'll see afterwards. Now this equal A2 plus B2. If I just take this part, there is a formula where whatever is there in the cell A2 and whatever is there in the cell B2 will be added. Okay, so just I have shown you one example here. So here if you see in the formula bar, I have written is equal to A1 plus B1 plus C1. Then now see, if I press enter, then I'll get the result. And before you write the formula, first you have to fill up the worksheet with some data. So I have already filled up with this data, and if I write this formula is equal to A1 plus B1 plus C1, then if I press enter, I'll get the result. So this is the formula, and there are certain terms given, if you see, and before that, as I have already told, that each formula start with an equal sign. So after that, there are references. What is references? A cell or range or cells that you want to include in your calculation. This A1, A2, B1, B2, C2, D2, all these are known as cell addresses or references. Next, operators. Those operators are different. Operators are there, like you have plus, minus, and this star. It is used for multiplication. Then there are many symbols. Dollar sign is there, hash symbol is there. There are different meanings of these operators. It will be told you later on. Next, we have constants. So numbers or text values that do not change. Now, if you see in this formula in the book what is given, so that 5 it's a constant. Okay. Then we have functions. Functions we'll discuss later, and in the next class we will see how to create a basic formula. So it's that is what I want to say for in today's class, just to give a brief idea about this. So again, I'm going to repeat it what I said. In a Excel, we have two things: workbook and worksheet. You can say when you open the application, it's called that is a workbook. And in a workbook, we have 3 worksheets: sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. So in each worksheet, we have, you can say, rows and columns. Rows are denoted by 1, 2, 3, 4 like this, and columns are denoted by A, B, C, D, E, like it goes on like this. So intersection of rows and columns are known as cells. So A1, A2, B2, C2, D2, all these are cells. So with this help of these cell addresses, what we can do, we can create the formula. We have 2 things: formulas and functions. Functions we'll discuss in the next class, or maybe after, whenever we meet next time. But today I'll just see what is formula. So the formula is, you can say, created by the user according to our need. If you want to multiply, we'll create the formula for multiplication. If you want to add, we'll create the formula for addition. So it's up to you how we create the formula. There are some basic rules that each formula or function will start with an equal sign. After that, we'll write this one. I have just given one simple example here. In the book, that example, so you can see, or here I have written is equal to A1 plus B1 plus C1. So if I press enter key, I'll get the required result. So that is how we can create the basic formula. In the next class, we'll see in detail. We'll give you we'll go to, you can say, a little bit of complex formula also, or compound formula, you can say. Next class we'll see that. After that, once formula is done, we'll go to functions. We'll see what are the predefined functions we have, how those functions can be written, how and how those functions are helpful, and what are the differences between functions and formula. So please go through this the part of this chapter, that is your chapter number 2, page number 16. You go through this, and if you have any doubt,